Good morning, students. In this video, I'm going to explain you about what is a BiCMOS cascade amplifier. So before going to a BiCMOS cascade amplifier, let us see what is a cascade amplifier. So cascade configuration is nothing but the process of connecting one stage, that is the output of first stage amplifier, as an input to the other stage, that is connected one after the other, is called as a cascade configuration. Here the figure shows a two-stage common emitter amplifier in a cascade configuration. The first common emitter configuration consists of an NPN transistor, and the second stage of a common emitter configuration consists of a PNP transistor, where the output of a first stage of a common emitter is being fed as an input to the second stage of a common emitter amplifier. Now let us look the what is the small signal analysis of this cascade configuration. For the small signal analysis, let us first consider the condition for the AC analysis. That is, the condition for the AC analysis is that the capacitor has to be short circuited and the power supply that is present, V plus and V minus, has to be connected to the ground terminal. So if I short circuit my capacitor and short circuit my power supply, the small signal equivalent circuit of a cascade circuit is shown in the figure, where the Vs in series with the Rs has been present in the circuit, and this R1 and R2 is going to form a potential divider, and which is going to provide a biasing for the circuit. So I'm going to replace this R1 and R2 by a biasing resistor as RB, that is, which is nothing but equal to R1 parallel with R2. And next we are going to replace the transistor by its small signal parameters. Now let us consider the transistor Q1, where the base 1 of the transistor Q1 and the emitter 1 is being replaced by small signal parameter as R pi 1, and the voltage across the R pi 1 is written as V pi 1, and from the collector to the emitter terminal it is being replaced by the source, that is current source, given by GM1 into V pi 1, and the other end of this collector is being grounded. So the other end of the collector is being grounded. So C1 and E1, the RC1 is present. So this is a part which shows a first stage of a common emitter amplifier. Now if we come to the second stage of a common emitter amplifier, the collector of the first stage is being connected directly to the base of the second stage. So the collector C1 of the transistor Q1 is connected directly to the base of the transistor Q2, which is being given by the notation B2. Now B2 and the emitter 2 is going to be replaced by its transistor parameter as R pi 2, and the voltage across R pi 2 is given by V pi 2, and from the collector 2 to emitter 2 we are going to replace by the current source. Since we are going to use here as a PNP transistor, the current direction is shown like in the upper direction here, which is being given by GM2 into V pi 2, and the other end of the collector of a transistor Q2 is being grounded. So RE2, the other one here, this bypass capacitor is going to, we are going to eliminate this emitter part from the circuit, and we are going to connect only the RC2. The other end of the RC2 is being connected to the ground terminal. So from the collector C2 to emitter 2, the RC2 is being present, and the load resistor from the collector to the ground terminal. From the collector to the ground terminal, the resistor R is present, has been present. Now we are going to calculate what is the voltage gain of this two-stage common emitter amplifier and its input resistance and the output resistance. First, let us see what is the voltage gain. The voltage gain is given by V naught. AV is equal to V naught divided by Vs, that we can split as V naught divided by V pi 2 into V pi 2 divided by V pi 1 into V pi 1 divided by Vs, that is equal to V naught divided by Vs. So first we will find what is V naught by V pi 2. So the output voltage, the voltage across this resistor, these two resistors are connected in parallel, and the current that flows through this resistor is given by Gm2 into V pi 2. So I can write V naught is equal to I into R formula, that is Gm2 V pi 2 into RC2 parallel with RL will give my V naught. If I bring the V pi 2 on the other side, V naught divided by V pi 2 can be written as GM2 into RC2 parallel with RL. Next, we are going to find what is V pi 2 divided by V pi 1. So, V pi 2 is nothing but the voltage across these two resistors. Again, the same step procedure as we followed here. These two resistors are in parallel and the current flows through this resistor is given by GM1 into V pi 1. So, I can write this V pi 2 as current I into R, that is GM1 V pi 1 into RC1 parallel with R pi 2. So from this I can write what is my V pi 2 divided by V pi 1 is equal to GM1 into RC1 parallel with R pi 2. Now the next step is I want to find what is the V pi 1 divided by Vs. So if I want to find the voltage across this resistor, the voltage that is present over here, I want to find what is the voltage that is present here. So I'm going to apply the voltage divider rule. That is, the voltage across the resistor R1 parallel with R2 can be written as V pi 1 can be equal to R1 parallel with R2 divided by, that is the resistor, this resistor divided by sum of these two resistors into the total voltage. That will give what is my V pi 1 divided by Vs. So V pi 1 divided by Vs can be written as R1 parallel with R2 divided by Rs plus R1 parallel with R2. If I substitute all the three equations, I can get the voltage gain of a small signal voltage gain of this two-stage common emitter can be written as GM1 into GM2 into RC1 parallel with R pi 2 into RC2 parallel with RL into Ri divided by Ri plus Rs. Next, the input resistance of the amplifier is nothing but the input resistance present here is nothing but R1 parallel with R2, that is parallel with R pi 2. Next, to determine the output resistance, we have to make the independent source Vs to be equal to 0. So if I make this Vs to be equal to 0 to find what is my output R naught, there is no excitation that is provided here. So this part will become 0. If this part is become 0, then this part is also 0. So all this part will be removed from the circuit. So I can directly write R naught is equal to RC2. So So we have calculated what is the voltage gain and what is the input resistance and output resistance we can obtain for the two cascade amplifier circuit. From the voltage gain, it is clear that the voltage gain for the two-stage amplifier circuit is nothing but is the product of the voltage gain that has been present in the first stage of a common emitter and second stage of a common emitter amplifier circuit. Now let us see what do you mean by a BiCMOS or BiMOS. BiMOS stands for bipolar junction transistor and MOS transistor, and that is BiMOS. BiCMOS is nothing but the technology which is going to combine both the bipolar and the MOS transistor in the same integrated circuit is called as a BiCMOS technology. That is, in a common circuit, a cascade circuit, we are going to make use of both the bipolar junction transistor as well as a MOS transistor. That is, the advantages of both the bipolar and MOS transistor is going to be make use in the case of the BiCMOS. Now let us look what is the advantage of a bipolar junction transistor and what is the advantage of a MOS technology. So the advantage of the bipolar technology is that it will provide a very larger transconductance and it will provide a very larger voltage gain. And if you look at the advantage of a MOS technology, this MOSFET will provide an infinite input impedance at low frequencies and it will provide very high packaging density, and the zero input bias current can be achieved using a MOS technology, and the switching speed will be very fast for the case of a MOS technology. So the advantage of both bipolar as a MOS technology is going to be combinedly used in the case of a BiCMOS technology, that is called as a BiMOS. Now let us look the BiCMOS with the help of a Darlington pair configuration. This is a normal Darlington pair cascade configuration where the two transistor here we used here as a bipolar. Now if I'm going to replace this transistor using Darlington pair by means of a BiCMOS, then the transistor Q1 of a Darlington pair has been replaced by the MOSFET, and the transistor to Q2 we are going to make use of a BJT, and the biasing shown here I bias. This bias is used to control the quiescent current for this transistor M1. So what is the advantage of using this M1 in the input side and the Q2 on the output side is that we have already seen what is the advantage of a MOSFET technology. This is going to provide an infinite input impedance and the BJT is going to provide a very high transconductance. So these two combine to form a BiCMOS Darlington pair configuration. Now let us see the small signal equivalent circuit of analysis of this BiCMOS Darlington pair. So the main advantage of this Darlington pair is that it is going to provide a larger current gain, and we are going to see whether the larger current gain can be achieved by using a BiCMOS Darlington pair configuration. So if you look at the small signal equivalent of this circuit, where the transistor part of the MOSFET is going to be replaced by small signal parameters. Between the gate and source, it is going to be replaced using VGS, and from the drain and source, it is going to be replaced using GM into VGS. Likewise, between the base and the emitter, we are going to replace by the small signal parameter of R pi, and the voltage across the R pi is given by V pi, and between the between the collector and the emitter terminal, we are going to replace by the transistor parameters of GM into V pi and the output resistance. Now look at the small signal equivalent. So where the input side is nothing but the MOSFET and the output side is nothing but your BJT. So let us see the analysis part. The total current that enters here is nothing but we apply the nodal equation here. The total current enters nothing but the current that leaves here. So the first equation I can write here is I naught is equal to Gm1 into Vgs plus Gm2 into V pi. That is considered to be the equation number 1. Now we are going to apply the KVL to this loop, input loop. So Vi, the total voltage is nothing but the voltage across this gate to source voltage minus the total voltage across this base and emitter terminal. So Vi can be written as Vi is equal to Vgs plus V pi. That is considered to be the equation number 2. And from this circuit, I can write what is my V pi voltage. The V pi is nothing but I, the current I that is flowing through the resistor R pi. So V pi can be written as I into R. I is nothing but Gm1 into VGS. So V pi can be written as Gm1 VGS into R pi. So that is considered to be the equation number 3. The next step is I'm going to combine the equation number 2 and 3, and so the VGS can be written as I'm going to combine the equation number 2 and 3. So in the place of the V pi I'm going to replace this equation in the case of the V pi. So from this I can write VGS can be written as Vi divided by 1 plus Gm1 into R pi. So that is considered to be the equation number 4. So from equation 1, I can write the output current equation as, that is, I'm going to take this equation I naught is equal to Gm1 into VGS plus Gm2 into V pi. That equation is taken as if, and in the place of the VGS, in the place of this VGS, I've replaced, so in the place of the V pi, it has been replaced equation number from the equation number 3. So if I replace equation number 3, I can write the output current I naught is equal to Gm1 plus Gm2 into Gm1 into R pi into VGS. So if I substitute the equation 4 in 5, I can write the I naught equation as Gm1 into 1 plus Gm2 R pi divided by 1 plus Gm1 into R pi into Vi. So this particular part, see all the Gm1 and Gm2, the current source of the transistor 1 and the transistor 2 is combinedly written by a term called as a composite transconductance. So from this equation it is clear that the total current that is obtained for this BiCMOS Darlington is more when compared to the other cases. So the transconductance Gm2 of bipolar transistor is usually at least an order of magnitude greater than Gm1 of the MOSFET. That is, the meaning is that the Gm2 transconductance BJT is going to provide more magnitude when compared to the MOSFET, and this MOSFET is going to provide very high infinite input resistance. So BiCMOS uses the advantages of large transconductance and an infinite input resistance. Now let us look the cascode configuration of a BiCMOS. Cascode is nothing but transistor and other transistor has been connected and a series will form a cascode configuration. So here the diagram shows a bipolar cascode configuration, that is if two transistors are being replaced by one by the MOSFET and the other by the BJT, then it is called as a bi-CMOS cascode configuration. Here the transistor, that is the input pad, is being replaced by the MOSFET. So the advantage of bi-CMOS circuit is the infinite input resistance due to this MOSFET, and the output is that it is going to provide a very high trans conductance. Thank you.